Bikepacking Fail. It's Friday, I've just finished work, so I decided to head out for an overnighter in Nidderdale, which, if you don't know, is just on the edge of the Yorkshire Dales. It's very, very beautiful. I've got some new equipment as well that I'm testing out, so I'm really looking forward to this adventure. It's fairly local, I'm riding there now, so yeah, it should be a good one. If you're new to the channel, just a reminder, at the end of this video I'll go through the route in a bit more detail and some behind the scenes as well. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the film. Hello, you've found me in a sorry state of affairs. I've had two punctures and it's all because of the hawthorn hedges around here. So they've cut them back and there's really sharp thorns on them and they've basically been lodged in my tyre, pulled them out and it's happened again. So I'm on the last inner tube now and I could keep going, but annoyingly, as it seems to always be the case, there's a train strike on today, so I can't even ride to Harrogate or Knaresborough, where I was planning on going, and get the train back. That would be my safety net. I was having to ride all the way back again, which is like another 60 miles. So I'm gonna end it a little bit early and call for rescue. My girlfriend's gonna come and collect me, so it's annoying, but it's just one of those things. It's not a terrible disaster like I've had on some previous films. It's just one of those annoying things, but I've had a nice adventure. It was nice camping out last night. I've seen some amazing scenery and revisited some places that I've cycled in a lot when I was a little bit younger. So I hope you've enjoyed that film. I will run through the behind the scenes anyway and show you where I was going to go, but please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching my film. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. All of those things go a really long way to supporting me, so if you did like it, consider doing that. I bring out a bikepacking adventure film just like this every single month, so stay tuned. It didn't quite go to plan on this occasion, and they don't always do. I've actually made a whole playlist of Bikepacking Goes Wrong films, and you can click through to that now just by clicking that card up there if you'd like to see those. On the whole, this one wasn't that bad. I've had some shockers of trips in the past, but this one went very, very smoothly, mostly. It was only a matter of the punctures that ruined this trip, really, and I could have kept going, and under normal circumstances, I probably would have done. The only issue I had is I was getting further away from where I live, and because there were no trains, as I mentioned, because of the train strike, I was finding myself, or I would have found myself, further and further out in the middle of nowhere. So I just didn't really want to risk it, and I took the safe option of getting a lift home. Just as a side note, I've had a lot of comments and questions about when I'm going to release the second part of my Scotland trip. It's an epic adventure that you definitely don't want to miss. That's not coming out this month. It will be coming out in December, so it will be the 1st of December when that film comes out. It's a lot of editing to do. It's quite a long one, so sorry to disappoint some of you who might have expected it to come out this month, but just to let you know, if you've watched that video already, I know a lot of people are looking forward to the next part. It will be coming out the end of the year as a sort of finale to 2022. If you haven't seen the Scotland trip, by the way, just click that card and you can watch that now. So let's dive into the route. I cycled from where I live, just moved house recently near Selby, to Nidderdale. Well, that was the plan. I cycled to the edge of Nidderdale on day one, and I didn't get very far into it on day two. I joined from Tadcaster and Thorpe Archway an old railway, which was National Cycle Network 665. That was really, really lovely. I had hardly anybody on that trail at all. In fact, I don't think I saw a single person. Lovely evening weather, just a nice smooth railway surface. I then entered into Wetherby, where I stocked up, got some food for the evening, and just generally replenished some stuff that I'd used on the way. I actually used to live near Wetherby, so I've got a really good understanding of the routes around there. It's just a lovely place to live. So I joined from Wetherby to the Spofforth Railway, which is National Cycle Network 67. Again, another old railway, super smooth, didn't see anybody at all. It was absolutely lovely. Now, I actually wild camped near there. I won't give the exact location, but you might have been able to hear in the film snippets of what sounded like a concert going on, because there was one going on just literally a mile or two from where I was sleeping, and it was like a family rock concert, so it's quite entertaining. When I'd set up the hammock, I actually laid there for a bit and just listened to the music, so it was quite good, but it made filming a little bit of a challenge, because that doesn't really help with the intimacy of what I was doing, having to listen to ABBA blaring out in the background. But yeah, it all added to the adventure. So I was testing out a new piece of equipment. You might have seen, if you've been watching some of my previous videos, I've never used a hammock before. It's an ENO Singlenest hammock with some Atlas straps, which are really, really tough. So I invested in those knowing that it wouldn't break. But it was really, really comfortable actually. I've not slept in a hammock while wild camping before, but it was really, really enjoyable. I didn't have to worry about laying on hard ground and what the surface and the gradient of the land was like as well. Because there were trees there, and I knew there would be, because like I said, I lived near there in the past, I knew that I'd be able to set up the hammock there. And it just made for an easy place to camp. It was very discreet, nobody knew I was there, and I could be gone the next morning, leaving no trace. So the following morning I cooked myself up a bit of food and had my usual Yorkshire tea before I set off. I've got to have that. I then packed up and set down to Spofforth. Spofforth is a lovely little village at the end of the railway. That's when I joined an old gravel route that I'd done before. I basically went up Park Lane, over the farm tracks, up towards Kirby Overblow, which is an absolutely beautiful part of the world. It's probably one of my favourite views at the top there. Done it so many times, but you can get an incredible view all the way out to Otley and even Ilkley on a good day. So basically the Yorkshire Dales, really, really stunning. But that's unfortunately where I had the issues with the hawthorn hedges. There were so many of them and they'd obviously been cut. I got lacerated on several occasions on the tyre to the point where it was just getting ridiculous and I didn't really want to risk it the rest of the way. That's where I abandoned, unfortunately, but the route plan from that point onwards was actually to go into the depths of Nidderdale, which is incredibly beautiful. If you haven't been, I would definitely recommend going. It's a little bit overlooked. So I was going to head down to Harrogate and then work my way down to Knaresborough. And Knaresborough is an absolutely beautiful place, and I was going to join the Greenway from Knaresborough up to Ripley. I've actually been to Ripley before. I included it in my first ever film on this channel when I was doing some charity cycling in Yorkshire. There's Fountains Abbey near there, and it's just a very nice part of the world, and they do cracking ice cream as well. But from that point onwards, I was then going to go on the roads around some of the villages in Nidderdale, which is very, very hilly, up to Menwith Hill, which is I think it's a research base or a listening point. Some huge golf balls there that look like satellite dishes or something. And then my plan was to head from there back down to Harrogate along the Greenway back towards Knaresborough. So it was going to be a massive loop. At that point, normally, it's a great place to go because there's a train station. You can get to Leeds and York from Knaresborough direct on the train, and they're old northern trains, so you don't have to book your bike, which is brilliant. So normally I would have got to Knaresborough and then I would have got the train back to Selby and then cycled to the village where I live. But that wasn't going to be the case. I had planned on then doing another 30 odd miles back home. And it was for that reason really that I felt I needed to cut the route short, because I was just diving into unknown territory, risking the chance of a puncture, being in the middle of nowhere and not even being able to get back. So I thought it was the best option. I also included in the film those pirate Lego heads, which you might have seen, which was a little treat to myself. It was a bit unnecessary, but you know, one of those impulse buys. I will include a link to the company there. I'm not sponsored or affiliated by them in any way, but they're called Brick Caps. And you can design your own Lego head that goes on a Presta or a Schrader inner tube valve. So if you're running inner tubes and you want to jazz your bike up a little bit, I'm basically a big kid, then you can do that. So I included that. I thought it was pretty cool. I've got some plans going forward with other crazy things like that, but you'll have to wait till next year to see all of that. I hope you enjoyed that film. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Pop them in the comments box. That really does help YouTube push these videos as well so other people can find them. Subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next video, which will be coming out next month. Just before I go, I'm also bringing out Q&A videos now every month. So I bring out the cinematic film and then I'll be bringing out a Q&A session as well, where you can get your questions answered. If you want to leave me a question and hear your voice on one of the videos, head over to my website, cycling366.com/contact. I'll put a link in the description as well, and you can leave me a personal voicemail and I may answer it in an upcoming video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.